Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tinah Mashilwani. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for the love and support. I really do appreciate it, and shout out to everybody that's supporting my content. If you are new here, welcome. Please do not forget to hit the subscribe button. Tell a friend to tell a friend that this is where you ought to be. Today we are doing episode 2 of #Talks with Tinah, and we are obviously discussing daddy issues. If it is your first time here, this is a segment that I've introduced to my channel because I want you guys to get to know me on a deeper level, talk about real life issues that happen around us, and hopefully whatever I say on this particular segment you get to resonate with, and we get to engage on what other topics we can discuss. The sole purpose of this is obviously therapy for more than anything, because therapy is expensive, child. But other than that, it's just to get people to know me on a deeper level, and to know a side of me that I don't normally portray out there. So today we are discussing daddy issues. I have jotted down some notes so that I don't forget, as usual. So let's get into it without wasting any more time. Okay, so just to give you guys a bit of background about my life. So I am the first child out of 6 children. My parents are separated, and my relationship with both my parents has been a roller coaster of a ride. Now, obviously, when they separated, I obviously fell onto the maternal side. So I was raised by my maternal grandparents, as well as my mother, my aunt, and my 2 uncles who are now deceased. So growing up, as I said in one of my videos, I didn't lack as much. I was the child that got everything that she wanted. I never lacked, but there was always that void of not having a fully present father, and I'll get into that and I'll explain why I say that. Okay, let me just have a look at my notes. All right, so with my father, once he separated from my mom, he remarried. Now, he remarried someone that I don't have a relationship at all with, and as a result, I don't have a relationship with my own father because of her. In my Q&A, I do get into a bit of detail on why I don't particularly get along with my stepmother, but I'm going to go in depth now. So growing up, I always knew that, okay, this is my father's new partner, and well, she's not going anywhere and I'm not going anywhere either, but I mean, she found me there. But anyway, so I obviously had to adjust to obviously not having 2 parents in one household. Now dad is living there, mom is living there, and dad has a new partner, and so forth. So growing up, I could visit my dad, not for holidays, because my mom was very when it came to that, but I could visit my dad once in a while. My dad would come to our house and take me shopping twice a year for winter clothes and Christmas clothes, and then we'd bond as father and daughter. So that was really cool, because I didn't get to see him often. He is an advocate, so he travels a lot, attending court cases and all of that stuff. So I didn't get to see much of him. So when he did have the time to come and see me, he would make sure that we have a lot of fun, and this went on for years. Like for part of my childhood, I didn't feel the absence of him not being there, but as I grew older, pardon me, and as I got into high school up until my adulthood, that's when I really felt the absence of not having my father present, and I'll explain why. So obviously, like I said, eventually my dad remarried, and I remember on the day he got married on the 2nd of Jan 2002, 2003, 2004, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 2004, on the 2nd of Jan. On the very same day that he got married, my mom was attending my grandmother's funeral in Petersburg. And I remember my mom leaving the house. Also, I didn't go to the funeral because my mom felt, okay, I was too young, and expenses wise it was gonna cost more, so let her just go. She'll represent our side of the family. So I remember my mom leaving that day, guys, and she was like, your dad is getting married today. And you could see the pain in her eyes. Guys, I will never forget what my mom looked at like that day. It was painful to see her in that much pain, and I know it hurt her, and we've never spoken about it, but I really, really, from the bottom of my heart, know that she wasn't well that day. It was heart-wrenching to see her like that. But anyway, so yeah, my dad got married. First and foremost, I was never invited to that wedding. And I'm the first child. I was never invited to that wedding. I remember visiting my dad for the holidays, June holidays, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, June holidays, or no, the first time I went to my dad's house. Yeah, no, I'm lying. It was December holidays. So I went to his house for the December holidays, and I remember his wife, guys, taking out. So we used to have cassettes. So she took out one cassette and she was like, oh, I want to show you something. So she took out this cassette and then she, plugged it in. It's a video of the wedding day. And I'm like, why are you showing me this? What are you trying to say? Why are you competing with a child you found there? And this is a concept I'll never understand. I'll never understand why women do this. Guys, stop competing with the child. It's not about you. It's about the child. Do not use a child to fight your battles. Stop using children as pawns to fight your battles. How can you compete with me when you're my father's wife and I'm just a child? So that's when the relationship started going. Because I would go back home and I would tell my mom these things. And my mom would just be like, I would tell her all of this stuff and she'd be just like, what is she trying to do? What goal is she trying to accomplish by doing that? I mean, first of all, I was not even invited to this wedding. My baby picture moved from the main bedroom to the lounge. That woman has had a problem with me. Sorry. That woman has had a problem with me. And you know what? It is what it is. I guess she won at the end of the day. Since she was in competition with me, I guess she won. So I speak about the diary issue when I was about 13 in my Q&A video, but I'll go into depth. So I speak about that. I visited my father once again. This time it was June holidays. I visited my father and I kept a diary. I've always been a person that journals. Even till this day, I still journal. It's therapeutic for me because I struggle to express myself vocally, so I'd rather be expressive in writing. So I was introduced to journaling by my therapist at the time because I attended a lot of therapy in primary up until high school. It got better in high school, but in primary it was the worst, and I had lost my grandmother at the age of 9. It was just a lot that I was dealing with. I have a father who has chosen his wife over myself, and I was just going through the most. So I attended therapy, and Jane, my therapist, I'll never forget her, God bless her soul, she introduced me to journaling, and ever since then I've done it. It's helped a lot because I can be in touch with my feelings and I can acknowledge how I'm feeling. The first step to healing is acknowledging that you're hurting and acknowledging what type of feelings that go with that pain. So I left for the holidays with that diary, and I kept it in my suitcase, and then I would journal once in a while I was there. So obviously I would journal all of the stuff that she was doing, stepmother, she was doing behind my back. And did this woman not take my diary and photocopy it, guys? She photocopied each and every single page in it. And my father bumped into those copies. Operative word being bumped. She bumped into those copies, and 2 weeks later, after returning to Joburg, because schools were reopening, so I obviously had to come back to Joburg because of school. 2 weeks after that, after school's reopening, I get a call from my father telling me he bumped into copies of my diary and he'd like to ask me a few questions. And now my mom can already see the look on my face who could say, something is not right. So my mom is like, put that man on loudspeaker when I hear this conversation. Okay, sharp. So now it's a back and forth. Yeah, why did you say this about my wife? Why did you don't? And I'm like, every time I come to you and I tell you what this woman is doing, you never listen to me. Instead, you always side with her because she's your wife. And I'm just like, how are you siding with another woman over your own child, over your own blood? I'll never understand that. So it was a back and forth. And my mom was just like, stop saying a lot. Just let it go. And I was just like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to listen to my mother regarding this. I'm just going to keep quiet and I'm just going to let him speak. So he went on and on and on, guys. He went on. He interrogated me to a point where I started crying. And then at the end of the call, I remember him saying, yeah, that's all. And then he hung up just like that. And I'm just like, why are you interrogating me? First of all, my own mother does not invade my privacy like that. Your wife invaded my privacy, whatever. He invaded my privacy, guys. And I'm just like, no, my own mother doesn't do that to me. And she had the audacity to go and photocopy each and every single page of my diary. And guys, this is the actual reason why my father and I don't have a relationship anymore. That's where the problem started. Our relationship just trickled down like to the worst of barrels from then onwards. And we have never recovered from that because he fails to acknowledge the fact that his wife did what she did by taking my diary and photocopying it, and he refuses to acknowledge that part. The last conversation I had with this man was me sending him an email and him myself asking him to get me data because I had to submit an assignment online. And I remember where I was working at the time, I couldn't use their Wi-Fi because the Wi-Fi was locked, and I was not in a good space financially. So obviously, I'm gonna ask my father to send me data so I can do the shit, right? And then he says to me, he responds by saying, "I don't have money right now, and stop reaching out to me only when you want something." So then I respond back and I'm like, how am I supposed to have a relationship with you when you are so closed off? Like, you've got this wall built up and I'm the one that's supposed to have that wall, but I don't have it. You are the one that's got an issue with me. I wrote a letter to you after the diary issue and I apologized to you and I apologized to your wife, but still you and your wife kept on going on and on and on and on until I got to a point where I was like, fuck it, I am not begging you as my father to be my father. So when exactly am I supposed to reach out to you? And I'm reaching out to you because ubabami. Like, where am I supposed to go if I need financial assistance? Like, I don't understand that. So he responds by saying, yeah, you have always disrespected myself and my wife. You have never acknowledged your half siblings. Did you even try to make means for me to have a relationship with them to begin with? Guys, my father lives 400 kilometers away from Johannesburg and I haven't seen him in 11 years. 11 fucking years. My father's birthday is on the 5th of August. My birthday is on the 15th of August. We're literally 10 days apart. The last time I received a happy birthday message from my father, I think, what year was it? I think it was in matric. In 2012, I think so, yeah. Because, yeah, the relationship was on and off then, but at least we were cordial, we were speaking. But the last time I received a happy birthday message from my father was in fucking 2012. He's alive and well. He's doing good, hey? He's happy with his wife, his evil wife. He's happy with his children. And by the way, I have no problem with those children. I have no problem. I just unfortunately don't have a relationship with them like that. And he's to blame for that. Because, my mom always said to me that a man will treat the child based on the amount of love he had or has rather for the baby mama. And I can never stop thinking about that because a lot of South African men, and again I am generalizing here, but a lot of South African men, once they part ways with the baby mama, they also part ways with the child. And I'm just like, how do you do that? How do you literally forget about your own blood? Like that. This is why I keep saying that stop using children as pawns to fight your battles. I was not there when him and my mom separated. I was not in the mix of any of that, but I took the fall for it. So fast forward to last year, I reached out to, no, actually not last year. It was in 2021. Yes. Just before my birthday, I reached out. No, actually I'm lying. It was on my birthday because my birthday was on a Sunday. I reached out to my grandmother. I gave her a call. So all along, I used, at the back of my diary, excuse me, at the back of my diary, I would have people's numbers in case I lost my phone and stuff like that. So I would literally jot down people's numbers so that I don't forget their numbers. So over the years, I had forgotten my grandmother's numbers off by heart. So I decide on my birthday, no man, let me reach out to her. So I give her a call. She answers. She's like, oh, and then she first says happy birthday. That is one thing about my paternal grandmother. She has never forgotten my birthday. She wishes me a happy birthday every single year. So I explain, I'm like, yeah, I miss you. I haven't spoken to you in years. Obviously, you and I don't have a relationship like that, but I'd like to work on that because I do have children which you've never met, and that bothers me a lot. If you were to die and you haven't met my children, it would really hurt me, and it's important that my children know that side of the family. And she's like, you are most welcome in my house. You are more welcome to come anytime that you want to. You are my granddaughter, so and I was like, oh, perfect, you know. And the reason why I did that as well is because obviously I had a fallout with my grandmother, and you know, some of the things that I said were really uncalled for. But what I like about how I handled everything in that perspective was the fact that I took accountability for my part in it. And this is why it baffles me at how that ended, and I'm going to get to that now. So her and I, we communicate via WhatsApp. She says she wants to video call me. Guys, this woman is turning 86 this year and she knows how to video call. She also still drives, guys. She'll literally drive from Limpopo to Johannesburg at 86. Like, she is stubborn like that. So she video calls me. She's like, oh, like your father. The older you get, the more you look like your father. So we just chat, and I speak to my Rakadi as well, who is my father's older sister. I speak to her because she now stays with my grandmother. So I speak to them, I catch up, things like that. You know, the conversation is flowing. And then eventually, so we talk on WhatsApp once in a while. She'd send me sermons, she'd send me heartfelt messages, like to keep me motivated and to keep me going. And she's always been that woman. She's a prayerful woman, and she's always prayed with me. She's always fought for me to have a relationship with God, and she's always been that woman who is just like, hey, amen, Jesus. So yeah. So while we're chatting on WhatsApp, hey Batung, on a random morning, guys, this is last year around, but it was cold then, around June, July, if I'm not mistaken, along those times. I remember it was a Saturday morning. It was extremely cold, and I had commitments. I was rushing for a gig, and I get a message from her. She says, good morning, my granddaughter. I hope you're well. Please note that you are not welcome in my house unless I'm accompanied by your father. And I'm just like, okay, how do I respond to this? So I read this text over and over and over again, and I'm like, I'm not welcome in your house unless accompanied by my father. What is this woman saying? Like, make it make sense, because it's not make sure right now. So then I respond, I'm like, morning, Gogo, I hope you are well. What does me visiting you have to do with him? Because and unfortunately, I am not in a position where I can impose myself on him. He chose his wife and his children over me. He literally did that, and I cannot fight for a person to be in my life. And that's why, guys, I've been so nonchalant when it comes to relationships, whether romantic or platonic. If you don't want to be in my life and you wanna get the fuck out, bye. Like, it's really that simple. I'm not in a position where I'm gonna beg you to stay when my own father never stayed. Like, and this is where the daddy issue thing comes in, because how I handle my relationships with people, a lot of people can see ukuthi lo unama daddy issues, and for as long as she doesn't deal with them, it's gonna cost her a lot of good relationships. And it has, guys, it has in the past. But this is something obviously I'm unlearning, and this is something I'm dealing with, and this is why I started this platform, because it's therapy more than anything for me. I need to deal with the daddy issues that I have. You can't go through life with a nonchalant attitude, unfortunately. So I'm just like, how am I supposed to have a relationship with this man when he's made it clear that he doesn't want a relationship with me? I'm at a point in my life where being the perfect mother for my children is my ultimate goal right now. It is my main objective, and I cannot steer away from that. I cannot lose my focus and, off ramp. Whereas I'm in a good path right now, and what I'm doing right now is at the betterment of my children. This woman responds, guys. She's like, it is your mother and your grandparents' fault that there's animosity between the two families. Okay, first of all, you are being disrespectful to people that raised me, number one. Number two, these two people, meaning my grandmother and my grandfather, are late. You should have had tele-eo when they were still alive, but you still choose to have the khupi at your age, and you still choose to insult my grandparents at the fact that my mom had to go back to school, and she decided she's gonna drop me off at my paternal grandmother's house, and then my maternal grandparents fetched me from that house, and they were like, this child is coming back home because ngesintu anihlawulanga, so you have no claim to this child. And looking back at that, now that I'm a mother myself, my maternal grandparents did good by going to fetch me, because till this very day those people are bangihlawulanga. So kahle even idlozi labo, I don't recognize it. When I do dlozi work, I don't recognize it at all. They have no claim to me. Banga the way banga ngakona on the other side, I don't care. Their son, my father, and their daughter, my grandmother, are living beings, but they still choose not to do the right thing. So I'm just like, why when they've done nothing for me? They have not acknowledged the damages that they've done to my family. When my father met my mother was a virgin child. My mother was a fucking virgin when she met that man, and nothing right was done for her. Those people are very disrespectful, and I just want to put it out there, and I know they're going to see this, and I said what I said. Y'all are disrespectful as fuck because you didn't do right by my family, yet you claim that it is my mother, myself, and my grandparents' fault that there's animosity between the two families. When we're na opalechko khalangwana. No. But yeah, anyway, before I get heated up, because I'll say things I'll end up regretting. So yeah, that's just basically it. I remember there was a time when my mom went to maintenance court. This man. So my mom was just like, you know what? You cannot break up with me and then be spiteful and not provide for the child. So my mom took him to maintenance court. She was just like, honey, for peace of mind, I'm taking this man to court. This man, guys, he first began wanting at 350 a month, and then he moved from 350 to 500. And my mom was just like, you know what, as long as this man puts you through school, that's all that matters. So my mom got a court order for him to pay school fees, and she was just like, the rest I will do on my own, plus I've got support from family, and anyway the support has always been there. Imagine that, guys, out of spite 500 a month, 500 rand, a whole advocate. That man has disrespected my family. And after the conversation I had with my grandmother on WhatsApp, I then sent her a very long voice note. It's just unfortunate that it's on my other phone, and I wanted to really play it just for you guys to get a sense of how hurt I was. It was an 11-minute long voice note asking her, Uguti, how am I supposed to take accountability for other people's part in it? When I was fetched from your house, I was literally a year old or 11 months, along those lines. How are you blaming me for that? Because Mina, I was just a child. If it really offended you, why did you not hold a meeting with my grandparents? Why did you not do the right thing? Why did you not kuza umntwana to do the right thing? Why is it that my father's word speaks over yours and you're the mother. Like, I'll never understand that. And this is what my mom always said, Uguti, it doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter how much you fight for this relationship with your father. His word will always prevail over his mother's. And I was just like, there's no way, guys. Like, there's absolutely no way. How is he getting away with this? So at this point, now that I'm a mother, I'm more convinced more than anything that I'm not wanted by my paternal side. I was never loved by them, because if they loved me, they would make means to have a relationship with me. But Ulile, and my grandmother, my paternal grandmother, is the only living elder in terms of ukoko nomkhulu. Like, she's literally the only one. And you're not doing the right thing. So you are going to go 6 feet without doing the right thing. But it's fine, because they are waiting for her and they have questions for her. I don't acknowledge my paternal side at all when it comes to Dlozi work, because abangenzelanga lutho. I'm a mashilwani, and it ends at that. And that's on period. So yeah, guys, that's just my daddy issue story. And obviously with relationships with the other gender, it's very tricky, because as a result, I've built a wall. I am very guarded when it comes to my feelings, because my own father broke me mentally and emotionally. So once I see those signs in a man, I dip, because there is no way I'm tolerating that nonsense. I tolerated it from my own father. I'm not tolerating it from a man. And yeah, that's on that. It would take someone really, really special to break down those walls. But for as long as a man hasn't done that, I will have those walls up there, guys. I will have them up there. You can call me toxic to date. You can say whatever you want to say. But yeah, I have daddy issues. I'm not proud about it, but I am dealing with it so that I can be more open to receiving love and not always having my guard up. And I just really hope that my story encourages you to have your own voice, because these are issues that we deal with on a daily basis, guys, where people are dating to find healing from others. We are all hurting one way or the other. So it's important to realize what our toxic traits are, and it's important for us to deal with them so that we can become the best version of ourselves. So with that said, guys, thank you so much for listening. Once again, guys, I am dropping #talks with Tinah every second week of the month. So meaning I'm dropping 2 episodes in a month. The next episode will be dropped next month because I've already done 2 episodes this month. Thank you so much to everybody that's been supporting my content, that's been reaching out on all my social media handles. You can find me on Twitter at MissTinah_M, on Instagram at Tinah Turner, on TikTok and YouTube at Tinah Mashilwani. Please do share this video, comment in the comment section below on what you'd like me to speak about. And yeah, that's it from me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you on episode 3. Hope you're good, and bye. God bless.